think it's funny when you add a little bit of money to a sport and you give some girls attention what they can do with it. I think everyone should take a page out of our book and really put some more time and effort into women's everything.
Welcome to Breaking the Glass Hockey Podcast. We're talking women's hockey from the PWHL to the NCAA. We'll be talking with players, builders, coaches, and fans who have made this great game what it is today. It's time to educate, empower, and elevate. Let's go!
Welcome back. It is episode number 7, Breaking the Glass Hockey Podcast. It's your host, Brownie, my co-host, Lyndon Kelly, and we are here talking this week PWHL playoffs and some other interesting tidbits from around the hockey world. And yeah, that's it really, right? There's not a whole lot going on right now, but how you guys doing?
Very well. Ready for some sunshine here in the Northeast. But other than that,
yeah,
do you still go do your ocean dip in the rain and stuff?
Sure, rain, snow, sleet, and hail. We're in there.
Everything but lightning, right?
Tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Join us, Devereaux Beach, Marblehead.
That's going to be me next weekend.
Yeah, come on, Linda.
You gonna do it when you're up here?
I want to.
Yeah.
It's a great group. It's really it's an amazing process.
I mean, what's my over-under on how long I'll be in?
Just focus on your breath, my dear, and you'll be fine.
You're going to hold my hand?
Sure.
It sounds like she might dunk you.
I'll hold all of you, Linda. Come on now. Go. There's lots of hugs in this group. Hugging's a prereq.
Well, I see a lot of like you wear the gloves and the hat. Do you still do that at this time of year or no?
Well, a lot of people like May 1st, they got rid of it. I took the gloves off for now, but I like the booties on. Just something about walking into the water and not having that instantaneous message to your spinal cord through your feet. Just helps for that walk-in process. And actually, part of me, being a goalie and all, I think there's something I like about putting on the gear. Like I strap on those gloves and I'm like, now I'm ready to go, put on my hat, make sure it's on straight, these types of things. I think it just puts me in game mode and makes me feel like I can do anything.
I got to get up there. Next Saturday seems like my day, right? Like because Sunday's too busy for you. So, yeah. Would you do it every day?
No, like 3-4 days a week.
Okay, that's the recommended amount. I heard that to make a overall benefit, it's like 4 days a week or 11 to 12 minutes a week. How long are you in for so I can get my mind ready for this?
Well, recommended again to hit those health benefits is 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But once you sort of settle in, and I always say it takes 42 seconds before like the cold settles in and you become a little bit numb to the feeling. That is when, if you have anything that hurts like a knee or a shoulder or a neck and a spine and a hand, a thumb, that's when the pain stops. And all of a sudden you're feeling really awesome. And it's also a big endorphin release. So you feel that as well. So the careful thing is once you've been doing it for a while is not to stay in too long, because when you come out of the water, there's a thing called the after drop. And so, you feel great coming out. You're not even cold. You're talking with your friends. And then all of a sudden you start shivering. So you want to not stay in for over I would say 8 to 10 minutes. We probably have 3 or 4 people in our group that could stay in a good 15 minutes and they're fine. They don't get the after drop. So everybody's, bodies are different.
Oh, it's so fascinating to me. I love it. I mean,
a lot of hockey people are doing it now too. Yeah. It's really popular. Coach Flint with Northeastern.
Yeah. All right, Brownie. Are you meeting me there, Brownie?
We went in on January 1st, and I got in up to my ankles or my knees, and I was afraid I was going to have a heart attack again. I literally thought I was going to have another heart attack, and I was like, I don't know if I should do this. And my friend Chuck, one of my daughter's godfathers, was like, "You wimp," and I'm like. And his husband was like, he may die. That was my fear, because I got this pain, Kelly, in my head, like right here, like a spike.
Like an ice cream headache?
But an ice cream headache, if the ice cream was a spike and someone was hammering it into my forehead, is what it felt like. And I've never felt that.
Good to listen to your body as well. Yeah. So it's not for everyone. Everybody's body's different, and there's no peer pressure. It's sort of like when you go to yoga and the teacher says, I'll make suggestions, you make decisions. it's like that. We have a lot of people come and just bring a tea and hang out, and all sorts of walks of life. Everybody's welcome.
I'll tell you what, Linda, if you want to do it, I will do my best to get there. I'll try. And regardless if we fail or succeed, we'll go to the coffee place, that lady's coffee place, which is not too far from there that we talked about.
Yeah, I want to go to a coffee place.
Nasty women coffee place.
You have an ankle injury too.
Yeah.
So just put your ankle in.
It's therapeutic. I can tell my wife.
He said he has an ankle injury, but I still scored 5 goals. And I was like, those guys must suck.
They do. It's a very bad skate. It's a very bad skate. Put it this way, when I'm one of the younger guys out there, it's not a good skate. Yeah.
All right.
You had a mea culpa, right? Or you were gonna?
I mean, I'd call it that. I mean, I give us some credit that we couldn't really think of a mea culpa from our last episode. First and foremost, I just feel like really excited that we felt like we needed a part 2 with Chelsea. Like that's the mea culpa right there. Is that we could have kept talking. And I mean, we had to gloss over her coaching career because we were like, let's get to BK. Like, let's talk about what you're doing now. The really thing that we wanted to help shine the light on in this moment, the national champs and what she's doing and having been there. But yeah, I mean, the mea culpa is that we need more time with her. And secondary to that, and I'm just going to say it now so I don't have to say it later, I didn't get any BK gear. So if I get it, I'll wear it. And then,
because you were physically in the rink the day before. You were probably near the gear.
Just not even thinking. I was so focused on just being a good reporter that I just forgot about it.
Linda, I, for one, think you did an excellent job.
Yes, for sure. The pictures were great. She was awesome. Yeah, I'd never met her. It was really cool, especially because Kelly and I got to see them play a little bit. So yeah, they're a wagon, that team. I would have, like you said, if we had more time, would have gone into more of her playing career. And I think I would have asked her more about some of her players. I had some notes and stats on some of her players.
That's what I mean. Like great. And Chelsea's she's such an unselfish person to begin with that was great, I'm sure. But like, she has coached a lot of really great players. She told me, the babysitting thing. She told me Sir Daphne is a great babysitter, like things like that, So she's coached a lot of current PW players, and, there's more to talk about for sure.
Well, I think the important thing was that we know that she wore number 21 because she was inspired by Cami Granado. Right. So these are the stories that I love to hear. And
we'll tag
you think that's why Hillary Knight wears 21?
I'm not sure on that one. I think I had inquired long ago.
I do think that is the reason, but we might be mea culpaing that on our next episode.
Well, Hillary, you're going to have to come on to set the record straight.
That's right.
Hillary's a wonderful person. She was wearing Easton when I was with Easton, so she was one of our star athletes after Julie Chu had moved on. So Hillary was our number 1 athlete, and she was wonderful to work with. She really is passionate about equipment, and not quite to the level that Marc Messier was, but, really detailed in what she wanted with her stick and her blade, and same with her skates. But always polite, always fun, always appreciative, always thank you, not only to me, but to, our designers and our manufacturers. So always happy memories working with Hillary.
Yeah, it's funny. At the last year's championship game, I was there with the press pass.
In Utica?
What's that?
In Utica?
No. At the PWHL last year.
Oh, sorry.
The championship game against Minnesota. And I don't really get starstruck. Like, you meet guys. I mean, I'd probably lose my mind if I met Bergeron or something. But like meeting players.
I have a great Bergeron story that would really lose your mind, but I won't share it here.
Oh, jeez. But we were walking through the under part of the stadium where the players were stretching and everything. And they held us up while they were doing their runs because just there's no space. And I literally was like 4 or 5 feet away from Hillary Knight while she was standing there. And she just kind of gave me like a, what's up? And I literally was like, oh my God, that's Hillary Knight. And I can imagine what it's like for like a little kid to see her. Yeah. I was like, oh my gosh, it was cool. It's really cool. Yeah.
I just want to point out that
I could have been part of it.
Yeah.
What's that, Kel?
I said she is beautiful too. I said that could have been part of it.
Yeah.
What I want to say is we need a sound effect again. We're evolving here at BTG. We don't pretend to be anything more than we are right now, but we need a sound effect for Kelly's name dropping.
Oh,
Boing.
no, like a cartoon safe. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
When she was, I was like, come on, give it to me on my keyboard. I just want to hit the button and just say,
There's got to be a way to do it. I have no idea. All right, well, let's jump in here. We got one thing from the IIHF that was missed, and I want to give them their due credit. Italy was the first team in the history of the tournament to go an entire women's worlds without allowing a single goal. They outscored their opponents 31-0. I think that was over 5 games. And they did so well that they're getting moved up to Group A. And I'm guessing next year they're going to let in a little more than 0 goals, would be my guess.
Yep, they're Division 1B.
Yeah.
That's an awesome stat, actually. I was just looking up who their coach is because I don't.
So if they move up, right, you guys would know this better than me. If they move up, someone's got to move down, yeah?
Yes.
Is that who moves down? Do you guys know?
Well, it would be
The lowest seed.
who was it? Norway?
For some reason, I want to say Hungary, but that's not right. It's not Hungary.
No, we gotta tighten this up here, people.
I'm just going to be a culprit for next week. That's all.
Yeah, we're gonna mea culpa this next week because we don't have time to look into it. We're trying to keep it tight this week.
Yeah, keep it tight.
I have another positive from the world, which was spoken about a lot, but it's really impressive given that it was the first World Championships in Czechia, which is still hard for me to say. I still like Czech Republic.
Yeah,
and I have a couple Czech friends, and they still like Czech Republic as well. But to think that in a brand new location, right? Obviously, they're a great hockey country, but to break for an overall event attendance record is really impressive. Like again, so the consistency, game in, game out. Like for so many years, we saw just the let's say top 4 teams have the strong attendance. So to be able to maintain that throughout the entire tournament is really, really impressive. So cheers to them and their organizing committee and the drive to get it done. But also, representation of the game at the skill level and the excitement at all levels, all the way through the numbers in the A pool are really up there. And as always, great hockey.
Yeah. Sure.
I mean, we haven't talked since then, and I was thinking a lot about that. The record they beat was from Winnipeg quite a while back. So that's amazing. That is, I mean, I've been to Czechia and it's for hockey and it's alive and those fans are awesome. Those rinks are amazing. Yeah, I've seen a couple tournaments over there and done some camps over there and things like that. So just a huge credit to them.
Yeah, it's great. Mm-hmm. And inspiring too, as the tournament.
There was a women's hockey. The women's hockey team was wearing some gear, some clothing. I'm trying to look it up right now, but I was messaging with Denitsa because they kept wearing in this clothing line, and I was like, "This is awesome." And I guess they're just only overseas. Okay. So she said I could order it and send it to her house, and she'd get it in the summer.
But the problem is the sizing. It's hard to predict. On different.
Oh, we're gonna bigger is better, just to be sure. Just to be sure.
I have a hard enough time when it's.
There was a really cool brand, and I want to give them a shout out. So I'll tag them on our IG because I think they had an IG account from this episode. When nice. I get
all right, then just some cleanup here. From the PWHL before we get to the playoffs. Did you guys see the Ottawa Jinsey Rose, the alternate captain, sing the anthem before their game versus Montreal about a week ago? Did you guys see that?
I saw the recording of it. Yeah.
She crushed it. What a good singing voice.
She looked so relaxed and so casual too. I
thought the same thing. I was wondering if we get to talk to her, I would like to ask her if she has more butterflies before doing the anthem or playing the game. Yeah,
she was cool cucumber there.
Yeah, really nice voice too. Good on her. And I don't know how to say this. I don't know ever know if it's Corinne or Corrine with people it's different, right? It can be either way, right? Corinne or Corrine.
Yeah, I think she was inducted into the Hall of Fame last year in Beanpot. Corrine Schroeder, I
I
think.
think it's Corrine, but you could say it either way, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to call her Schroeder. Broke the single season shutout record for the PWHL with 4, and she also has achieved the 1,000 career saves mark. So not a bad little stat to hang on to, especially with the tough seasons that New York's had to put up those numbers. You
Yeah.
know, pretty good on her.
Yeah, and Hillary Knight and Sarah Fillier were the top point getters for the season, tied, which is awesome for number 1 draft pick rookie. And then Poulin had the top points.
Yeah.
And again, cheers to Hillary, for
amazing
going. I think it was before we started, but she's just an absolute machine, and I think her training must be really dialed in for exactly what she needs. Is that long-term, strength. It's even going into third periods, whether it's the Pro League or the World Championships. I mean, she looked amazing, and then still putting the puck in the net. So
yeah.
Really impressive. This is the Hillary show today. We didn't even know.
And the Frost, as they're getting ready for their playoff run, they unveiled their championship rings. I got the pictures here. Let's see here. There we go.
Wow.
So for the first picture here, there's 74 diamonds around the sides of the ring, which commemorate the number of goals they scored in their entire first season.
Oh.
I mean, that thing's a doorknob. Look at that thing. Good on them. And then second picture, they on the inside of the band is the date and the score of the deciding game and their motivational saying of win one game. And on the outside, all the rings are personally inscribed with players' last names and numbers. You can see Kendall Coyne Schofield's name and number right there as the captain. And
good thing she went back to Coyne for the ring.
Yeah. And this last one, opposite sides on the outside has PWHL inaugural season inscribed, and the 18 purple amethyst representative of resilience, growth, and evolution, and also the team's color. And that was the amount of team wins that they had for the whole season. So that's why they put 18 of them around the band there. Pretty cool.
It is. And we were there to see it.
Yeah. I actually.
Really, were you there with us? We were in the pavilion.
So.
Wait, yeah, we were in the pavilion, I think. A bunch of Northeastern crew people.
I Forrest Gump my way onto the ice. Yet again, imposter syndrome. I was out there on the ice as they awarded that. And then Kelly, do you want to talk about this since you were the one who got it? The next part.
Just like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Oh, well, yes, I do. Because I was one, I'm like, I don't want to participate. I'm like, well, if you're going to force me to say it, I'm going with Vancouver and Seattle.
And
what did I pick? Do we remember what I picked? Because I don't want to be too competitive about it, but I thought I picked those two. Maybe
did
we
you?
were.
I remember it was Kelly.
No.
I think you might have said, I thought you said
Detroit.
Detroit, yeah. I was 100% wrong, so what do I know? I'm just pulling for the people of Quebec.
I think we should go into the past recordings maybe and bring that up.
All right.
Brownie, I think you should practice I was 100% wrong with your wife. We can record that and send it if you want.
She doesn't need a recording for that.
It is Mother's Day coming up soon.
She's well aware. But yeah, big news. PWHL in both Vancouver and Seattle. I mean, that's awesome. And I imagine it's only a matter of time before we get an Eastern and a Western division, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I would think that's on their plan.
Yeah. They were cool.
It's great. I think the road trips, are such wonderful bonding situations. With Team USA, we went out and played in San Jose quite a bit, big supporter at the time. It's really, it's a different, you're going to a different place, different connections. It's a lot of fun.
They do fly commercial though, just FYI.
So they're mixed in with everybody?
I did hear an interview with Hillary Knight about them flying commercial and how this is going to be challenging. And it was kind of brought up at the end, like, hey, what are we going to do about this? Because it's going to be tricky.
Well, my first thought, being COVID's not too far in the past, is is germ exposure. At least you're on a team flight, you have a less mix of people.
Yeah. And I don't want to over speak about it because I don't know anything about it, but I just heard the interview and I was like, oh, okay, this is a topic. This is great. So.
Yeah. Well, the guy who owns the Dodgers, I think you could just float him a plane. There you go.
Just borrow it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's going to be great. The fans seem very engaged. It's both are just fantastic. They look at least like fantastic venues, and I think Vancouver's a dedicated rink, right? That's not where the Canucks play, I believe. It's their own rink. And Seattle, they're going to play at Climate Pledge, which
is very cool.
It's really cool. It's going to add its own challenges in terms of the scheduling, because they're going to have to cohabitate, but they make it work elsewhere. So, and that Climate Pledge Arena is the first, I don't know if it's the only, but it was the first carbon neutral rink or stadium in the world. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I heard you walk in it and you go down.
Yep, it's below ground level.
Yeah. So,
and the roof, I think the roof is a entire garden. We did a whole thing on it on the morning skate. It's pretty neat. Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Let's go. BTG World Tour.
Yes.
That'd be sick. I'd love to do that.
That and the U.S. Nationals. We got to come together at Nationals too.
Yeah.
And then the last thing about the PWHL before the playoffs is for the second year over first year, they grew by 50% attendance. So clearly it's working, right?
Yep.
I mean,
great.
That's awesome.
Moving to those bigger venues makes a big chunk of change difference on the numbers.
Yeah, for sure.
Any talk on Boston's potential locations or staying the same?
It's funny is like everyone's like, it's one of those things like tippy toe around, like no one really wants to say. But I mean, there's been some talk if there's a new Matthews, we got to fill it, right? So maybe they could do a little bouncing around. Who knows? I know
think UMass Lowell's done a nice job to make them feel welcome and everything.
Yes.
I mean, they've really embraced them, and they do have a nice, strong fan base there.
Yep.
But I just don't think we have as much of a mix of a fan base that we might have in a different location. But
yeah,
I mean,
I think the key components to public transportation. I think that's a key component to it, and it's tough. There's no way around it. Lowell's tough because it's on major routes in terms of commuting. There's like one lane roads in and out, so it makes it very, very challenging. So
yeah, my problem from the North Shore is just unpredictable. It could take me an hour and a half, or it could take me 2.5.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, if I drove that at 3 a.m., it would take me like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, there's no puck drops at 3 a.m. Doesn't work that way. Linda, you want to do playoffs?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think the biggest question with playoffs, or the biggest question we have now that the season is over for Boston and New York is, are there going to be any changes? Like not just with players, but with staff. We were talking about that unique dynamic of one ownership group across the league, right? So
for those that don't know, one
ownership. Yeah. So
has that ever been done before, guys, in sports or maybe startup leagues? Is it something?
Good question.
That is.
I have to imagine basketball started that way somewhere back.
WNBA?
Basketball's been we're a baby.
I know basketball just because I had followed Gene Rollins for a long time. They're on their 8th, I think, version of pro before it was.
Yeah.
It is now.
The person that would know that answer for us is probably Mary Champa. She'd probably bring her on, give us a little women's sports history of.
I imagine some of the soccer clubs, some of the leagues, like the lower level leagues. I would imagine that they do, because don't they do that kind of with the major junior, like teams will absorb other teams to keep it going, or the league will absorb. I feel like you see that in the minors. I don't know at the pro level if that's, at the top level, I should say, not pro, because they're all pro.
I'm not sure in comparison, but that being said, I don't know. What will there be coaching changes? I mean, New York just changed their coach last year, right? So chances of that happening again is probably unlikely.
Same result though.
But with kind of the same result. I mean, they were on a roll for a while, and then I think they lost 9 straight that they just couldn't get back on the bus,
Did some
right?
injuries. Yep.
Yeah, but in Boston, I mean, who knows? I'm not on the inside to know what the relationship is with the GM and the coach, with Marmer and Kessel and the players, but I don't want to say that we're going down this road where the coach gets axed every time there's just an undesirable result. They missed the playoffs by 1 point. But again,
they got smoked 8-1 in a decisive game.
I understand.
That's tough.
But again, I think it's the edge of your seat kind of thing. Like when Danielle Marmer put out the statement on social like yesterday or I guess it was Monday, I was like, here it is. There's going to be an announcement. They're changing their coach. It was just a statement to the fans and an appreciation post type of thing. But I thought it was going to be like, we're making an announcement. We're making changes. So I don't know how quickly these changes will be made, but the draft is June 24th. So
they're going to have to figure out the rosters, who to protect. We still don't know all the ins and outs of that on what they're doing.
Expansion, right?
Yeah. So
we're going to do our homework on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to take that one to do my homework on how the expansion is going to work and try to find out so that we can talk about that a little bit more knowledgeably next time around.
Well, there definitely is a lot of strength in goaltending throughout, and we were kind of wondering as we're seeing a lot of these college goalies now, like, where is there going to be space for them? Because there's so many good goalies, and now internationally as well. What we saw in the World Championships is a lot of good quality goaltenders around the world. So it'd be great for them to showcase their talents.
Well, all 3 Boston goalies started in the World Championships.
I know.
For their countries.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
So, I mean, imagine having 3 goalies like that.
Yeah.
Well,
in Minnesota had that the time before. Both of their attendees were.
Yeah.
USA.
So, we got our playoffs starting up here tomorrow, and for the PW, and looking forward to that. And I don't know, who do you guys have winning? I mean, Toronto.
Matchups.
Yeah, it's Toronto, Minnesota. And then Ottawa and Montreal. Montreal haven't chosen Ottawa because they get their pick of 3-4.
That's weird.
I watched that. I was like, this is like, they got me on the edge of my seat with between the expansion things. I'm like, thank God I work from home. I'm just putting my phone on.
You were a coach. Let me ask you this. As I love the fact that the first team gets to pick their opponent, right? And it blew up on Toronto last year when they picked Minnesota, then Minnesota swept them. With Montreal coming out and picking Ottawa, and they did it, I understand Montreal's reasoning. It wasn't so much about the standings. It was more about the travel, they said, which makes sense, right? It's smart.
Yeah.
How much of that would you use as like a bulletin board material for the team to be like, hey, they picked you. So now, you know what I mean? Is that translated this?
I think that's a reverse motivation, if you want to call it that, for anyone. It was Minnesota's like, you want to pick us? Fine. We're going to bring it.
Right.
Yeah. Ottawa, I don't know if anybody, I watched like the post game that they posted with Carla McLeod coming in the locker room and saying, let's go. This is us. Like, this is what we do. And I mean, you're 4 teams deep, right? It's not that many teams. So you got to be feeling pretty good. It's kind of like the NCAAs. You get into NCAAs, you're 2 games away from the Frozen Four.
Yeah.
So it's scary what that motivation of you picked us. Okay, we're coming for you can do. But I think that's just a great testament. I think any team, any matchup would have been that, no matter who they chose, right? So
I was just curious.
In for it. We're going to see some great games, and
it's going to be awesome.
We got to pick before the puck drops. So who do you have, Brownie? Let's just pick one. Pick the first series or the whole thing. That's the question.
Well, I think we should do series by series.
Okay.
Because that way we don't look as dumb.
You don't get knocked
Really
out.
motive, right, Brownie?
You're smoking. I mean, on the morning skate, me and Ked both picked Colorado to win the cup. So that shows you how much we know because they got knocked out in the first round. So
Yeah.
I don't want to repeat that. Let's try to make this one last a little longer. I'm gonna go Ottawa in the upset because of Gwyneth and net.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think she's so cool. She's very cool. She gets a little fiery. I think she's going to shine in the playoffs, and so I'm going to pick Ottawa.
Who? Phillips? You're talking about Phillips?
Yeah. I'm writing these down too.
Hard not to pick him for that reason, huh?
All right, who you guys got?
But you're going Ottawa over Montreal. But who are you picking? Toronto, Minnesota.
Oh, I thought we were going to do Ottawa and then talk about the other side.
I'm just going to shoot you picks.
All right. Hey, I'm going with the defending champs. I'm going to take the 2 underdogs. I'm going to go with Minnesota. And I love a lot of the players. I love the way they play in Toronto. Shout out Megan Carter, friend of the other podcast, but a good kid. And the most awkward meeting I've ever had with her dad that I'll tell you about off when we're done recording. But yeah, I'm going to go with Minnesota just because they've been there and they know what it takes and they want it and they want it bad. They want to win it again. You get that feeling, So I'll go Minnesota.
All right, Cal, you're up.
I know, but I'm a repeat, so I don't want to make it sound that way. But I'm going with the same.
Oh,
should have started with me.
So you're going Minnesota, Ottawa?
Yep. Thanks for switching it around. That's helpful.
You guys, I don't know. I wanted to go that way, but I like to go against the grain, and now you're both doing that, and we're going to be boring if we've all picked the same ones.
Or we're all going to look like idiots next week.
I like Ottawa. I like their chances. I know Carla, and I just like them. I agree with you about Phillips. She's just riding hot right now on that, but I don't know. I think Captain Clutch, Poulin, Stacy, they're so awesome. They're so fun to watch. I'm going to go with Montreal for the sake of maybe some friendly wagers. And then I'm going to go Minnesota because I agree with we know how to do it, the repeat, like the kind of unwavering part of it where Toronto, I think they want it. I think they want it so bad, and I just think Minnesota's gonna.
It's funny with these.
But I think it's got to go 5 games.
Oh yeah, I think both series. Well, it's crazy too with only 6 teams in the league. Every team is so good. You can literally make as you guys are talking in my head. I'm like, oh, there's Renata Fast and Sarah Nurse. I'm like, listen,
I know
what I mean. Everyone's so good. It's
so hard to go against them too, but we gotta do it. So,
yeah.
Anyway,
there's our picks.
All good. We moving on to do better.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. You want to go?
Sure. Well, yours is about the PW, right? So
yeah, mine is about the PW. I can go quick. Mine's fast because I'm always complaining about the TV coverage. I don't know who's responsible for this, and I notice it more at the Fleet because I probably watch more of their games on Nesson locally. But I did notice it for when I was watching Toronto. I don't remember who they were playing, but I did notice there's got to be a way because every NHL coverage seems to figure it out that when like the Boston in the Saga Center, you can't hear Gigi Marvin and the play-by-play guy talking during the pregame because of the ambient sound in the rink because they play the music so loud and everything. And I understand that it's hard to probably control that, but you can raise their levels and so for those that don't know, these intros, I've put them together using what's it called, iMovie, and I can lower and raise the levels of the music.
Yeah.
They have to be able to do that, and I just feel like it's someone asleep at the switch. You can't hear it. Like Gigi Marvin's super knowledgeable, played at the highest levels. I want to hear what she has to say about the game, but instead I'm listening to Mambo number 5 playing while they're shooting t-shirts into the crowd. It's ridiculous. Like, is there no quality control? Is no one paying attention? You know what I mean? It's just,
They will be now, Brownie.
I hope so. Like, the
Called it.
NCAA doesn't do that.
Shine the light, Brownie. Shine the light on the good and the bad and the ugly.
Drives me insane. But yeah, so that's my do better. Sorry.
Okay.
I hate to be negative, but that's, you know,
that's sticking with you. It must have been going on all year.
All year. And like, how do you not figure it out? All right, sorry. Go ahead.
All right, so it's a chronic do better for this season from Brownie. I'm gonna just throw it out there because it's. I just had this conversation when I was at BK, and I don't know, for anybody that knows me in the hockey world on this podcast, I've probably been saying this since I feel like 2010 at a minimum. The NCAA convention is happening right now for the coaches in Florida. I want to say Naples because that's where it always was, but it's not. It's in, I don't even know where it is this year.
I thought it was Naples. Okay.
No, they moved it out of Naples. That club closed. They closed that golf place down in that hotel. But I just am fundamentally struggling with the fact that from what I know, and I'm not sure if it's a blanket statement, but it's mostly head coaches only or one coach only. I don't want to speak for every program because of budgets. It's expensive to go down.
Explain what this is though for people that may not know.
So it's the purpose of it is to get together at the end of the year. There's lots of purposes of it, and there's lots of reasons why they want to keep it down there, but it's to educate. So there's breakout sessions. It's men's and women's. It's all divisions. So it is everyone. And trust me, I've been to more times than I can count on both my hands. And it is super fun. It's educational. There's camaraderie. It's social. It's everything. You golf.
Also rules committees, like changing of rules.
Yep. And the educational piece is you're having meetings. You're talking about rules committee. You're talking about how to grow the sport, how to make it better. I mean, it's everything you can ever think of in college hockey, right? Men's, women's, like I said, all divisions. There's celebrations. There's coach of the years. The coach of the year has to buy the drinks at the bar after, right? Like stuff like that. It's a wonderful mix of things for people. It is a great release for the staffs. They go down with their families. They get a little fun in the sun. Hockey is such a long season, and I'm fully supportive of that. But as we've kind of come into where we are with the state of universities, the state of budgets here in 2025, assistant coaches aren't going anymore. It's one coach. That's all the budget can handle, right? And I just think it's a huge discredit and a huge loss. Your assistant coaches are the one you need to educate and grow. And the other thing I'll point out is that people used to go down when they didn't have a job. I've left XYZ University. There used to be a job board of all the teams that were looking for coaches, and you would go down and you would interview. You'd be like, well, I left the school and I haven't landed somewhere yet, but I'm going to go down because I'm going to interview.
Also, the other side too that's evolved away is the whole equipment side. And with the equipment, not only learning about the technology of equipment, but sizing, colors, touch and feel, but then also the sponsorship that brought in by the vendors paying into going.
Yeah, so there would be vendors, there would be an exhibition and vendors, and Kelly was sitting down there all the time.
Anymore because of the budget.
Exactly.
So there's not as many vendors either, you're saying?
Mm-mm.
Huh.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why these vendors, all these different tournaments, why they're not doing pop-ups and showing up tournaments, these meetings, all these things. It's a chance to get your product and your face out in front of all these decision makers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I don't mean to belabor it, but my do better about this is that just hearing how much it's been cut back and that people aren't attending anymore and they don't get sort of not even just the reward, but the benefit of it, right? From the overall big picture. I think that the NCAA convention should be at the Frozen Four each year. It should be at the location of the Frozen Four. Would it take a ton of planning? It totally would. Would it separate men's and women's hockey? Yes, it would. But let's just keep raising each other up. Like there's plenty of women's hockey knowledge to educate each other, to bring in guest speakers, all of those things. But you're also supporting your own sports championship. Yeah. You're bringing all the coaches there. Now, all those coaches are now attendees. You can run lots of really nice things. Basketball does it. I'll just keep saying it about basketball because
basketball does that meeting at the
basketball does their convention at their Frozen Four, at their Final Four. Yep. And it's a super fun time. I've been to it. So
I have a little tidbit on that as well. And I'm going to name drop, but myself and Heather Lindstad were the first ever females to attend the American Hockey Coaches Association trade show. So it was in Naples. I was playing in West Palm Beach, Florida. And so I came across Alligator Alley and Heather Lindstad, and we shared a room. And these female hockey people were walking around and nobody really knew what to do with us. And so I will tell you, without sharing too many details, how it has evolved dramatically from the type of show it used to be. So I think that it's going to have to continue to evolve. And I think, Linda, your idea is excellent.
I think that I heard that you guys were like, they finally said, what are we going to do? How are we going to meet? And I feel like Heather's story was that they gave you guys like a little room that was like a closet.
Yeah.
Like that's what I heard. You know, they gave us this little room. It was like a closet. Yeah. There was a couple of us. We went in there.
The second year, Kristen Steele, who's now at Conn College, she came down. There was the three of us the next year, three of us. And I think it was Julie Sasner joined. And she was at Cornell.
Probably Didge.
Well, Julie, I think, was at Cornell at the time coaching.
Yeah. So anyway, my do better is just that it's time. It's time. We can, in women's hockey, we can raise the sport and raise each other up with the education and all the things. And I know Florida is a great place, and I know it would take a ton of logistics. So I'm not volunteering to be a logistics manager on any of this. I just think it's time and to support your. Does this mean that they can send assistant coaches to the Final Four, Frozen Four? Maybe it's still just as expensive, but isn't it a worthy cause is my point.
Well, it brings the evolution for bigger venues, more hotel involvement. Of just you're going to grow it bigger, which is what we wish to do. And again, I keep coming back to the Caitlin Clark effect. I mean, look what she was able to do in bringing these bigger places. And so maybe if it's all together, you need to have even a bigger arena, bigger stadium, bigger.
Well, maybe it draws more interest in who bids for it because it keeps rotating between Minnesota, then it goes to Penn State, then it, it's always coming back around. It's about bids.
Yes.
So.
And that's the other thing too. We talk about everyone supporting each other. Wouldn't that be the biggest support? Going to the Frozen Four and bringing, because I understand the family aspect of it. You want to take your kids to Florida for a little fun time, but you can do that, your family and support, right? Bill, like you said, it makes a lot of sense, Linda. That's a really good idea.
I mean, I want to say I went to the Frozen Four for the first time in 2010. I'm almost positive it was 2010 because it was when Dave was at the Olympics and I was associate head coach that year. And we had shelling. So I thought, we got shelling. We for some reason, I think we lost, and I can't remember what happened, but we came pretty close to, getting in. And I was mad. I felt like it was very subjective. Like the rankings at that time weren't a complete computer calculation, all that. So, and I went because shelling was up for Patty Cass. And it was in Duluth. So I went out and stayed with Schuler and did all that. And I was like, this is going to be great. It's going to be fun. And I remember standing at those games. Maybe that wasn't the year. There was a year, 09 or 10, I went and I was like, thought we should have at least got a nod. And I was watching and I was like, oh my God, we would not hold a candle to this game. Like, it is a good gut check if you think your team should be in it. And then you watch the games. I mean, we have so much more exposure and accessibility now with TV and broadcasts and networks to see the games. But we would have been like, just little, we would have looked miniature compared to the size of the teams that were playing in those games. And I don't know. That's my do better. I want to see us. Okay, my light just fell. I want to see us support our sport.
All right. At least you didn't get hurt.
No, it's all right. I got it. So sorry about that.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Kelly, you got to do better.
I do. It is May. It is Mental Health Awareness Month. And with that, I've been spending a good amount of time and working with prep school teams and colleges, and a lot of their messages are really strong about mental health and what they're doing on campus to support their students and their student athletes. And I know it's grown in awareness of all areas of women's hockey, but I think it really needs to be emphasized even more. We've gone through a lot of stages of evolution, but there's still so many people breaking through glass ceilings. And with that is a lot of unknown. So you can't always look to somebody who's done it before, because it's setting new bars at each level. And so with that, there's a lot of stress and everything to push through, and don't always know exactly what people are going through. So again, just to further the efforts in all areas of women's hockey, as you said, Linda, and supporting each other. But, even when you're going head to head in competition, but kindness and checking in with people, teammates and alike. So that's my do better, and continue to do better as a whole.
Doesn't take a lot to pick up the phone, right?
Yeah.
And then the last thing, if you guys have any plus minus, I have one. I'll go quick.
Granny, you go, and then I'll go, because my plus minus is you're gonna like my plus minus.
Mine is, you're gonna like mine, because mine's basketball, and this, I never talk about basketball, but talk about people using their platforms the right way. I'm gonna get his name wrong because I don't know much about him. Gino Auriemma, is that right?
Auriemma.
He's I guess he's a pretty good coach. He's a UConn women's basketball coach. We didn't talk about this at the time, but at the Final Four, he was very vocal about the discrepancy between the men's and the women's experience, the hotels, the training, the transport, the facilities. And listen, if you're a white dude who has a platform and can shine light on stuff like this, you have to use that to the best of your ability. And I just want to give him like a little stick taps for I'm not even going to try, for Gino to for using his position as a head coach who's a white guy to help shine a light on discrepancies, because you could shout it till the day ends, but the fact that he's doing it hits a little harder, and I just was appreciative of that.
And just the legacy of a coach. So just using his reputation, I'm as successful as I am, and still I do not think the world is right. Yep. The world is even. This has been talked about in the NCAA environment for a while, with what the facilities are for the men versus the women, and basketball is just a great platform for that, because
got a lot of
tournaments are so big and do get a lot of eyes on it, but the weight rooms are not the same. They're cool down facilities, he didn't allude to it, but I don't think he had to. And I agree with you.
It was awesome. Like I said, I'm not a basketball fan, but I was glad to see him do that.
Gino speaks so well too. I mean, wherever you are, it just draws you in. He spoke about the NIL and the transfer portal too, quite passionately, and it was really awesome. He's amazing.
Nice.
My plus minus is that the Fleet are eliminated. My minus, and the reason being is because I'm coming to Boston next weekend, and I was like, hey, I might hit some playoffs in Boston. I was like texting my friend and saying, hey, playoffs are going to be happening. I don't know how they're going to drop, but it seems pretty likely that there'll be a game next weekend, and we got to grab tickets. So let's get on it. And so that's a minus for me that they didn't make it. The positive
is the plus that we're going to drive up to Montreal.
No, we're not driving to Montreal. I'm not going to Boston to drive to Montreal. I would get a divorce. But I am going to Boston to golf twice, which I'm very excited about. And my plus, you guys, is that we have a potential for an in-person pod next weekend, and I'm going to go dip with Kelly.
Yes.
I'm going to, at the very least, watch. Oh, that's cool. Kelly,
Yeah.
you have any?
Well, I was just going to let it hang on Linda's.
You can.
and
You
call
don't have
it
to
a
have them
wrap.
every time.
Call it a wrap.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. We're just over 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Episode 7 in the books. PWHL playoffs starting tomorrow or tonight as you're listening to this. And yeah, we'll see you next time. So, Jada Gimla, have a great day.
Bye for now.
It's a great day to make saves.
Ooh, she committed.
Yeah, she changes it up sometimes. All right. Thanks for listening or watching.
Okay.